on a cloudy and warm Thursday morning. Welcome on into the Animal House. It's out of the Bull and Dustin Fox on a Thursday morning. What's up, man?
It feels like it's Friday for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it feels like Friday. How about you? No?
Yes, because, well, you don't work Fridays.
I know, but I don't know. For whatever
I don't really
reason,
work. I don't do, I'm actually off tomorrow from
okay.
both of my outlets. So, yeah, I'm not working tomorrow either.
I guess it's because, I don't know. For whatever reason, like yesterday, I worked the show, and it's like all I basically have left for the week is to do this, and then it's over. So this kind of feels like a Friday. It's like we do this, and then away we go.
The days are not structured like they used to be. They're different.
Do you know what I love? Yeah. That I don't know what day it is.
That's right. I mean, every day could be Saturday, and every day could be whatever. It's just what you make of it, right? You do a little work, you have a little fun. Although we mostly have fun when we work, so that's good.
I love it. We try to entertain.
That's right. A lot to get to today. Coming up later, the Cavs will play the Pacers. That series will start on Sunday. How tough of a challenge will that be for the Cavs? A fan fell out of the stands in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
I want to talk about that for a minute. I thought that was fake when I saw. You never know these days. There's so much crap out there, fake stuff, and AI. You can't keep up with anything. Speaking of AI, what's taking over the country is these. Have you seen these AI babies like for TV shows? Have you seen this thing?
I've not.
I got to send you a video. I'm sure some of the other guys have seen this. They do this thing where it'll be like an AI version of all the Sopranos cast as babies, an AI version of different shows or all-time comedians or presidents. Yeah, but they're babies. And
do they evolve throughout the AI process, or are they just babies?
No. I'm sure there's other things.
Because I've seen some AI. Yeah, I've seen some AI stuff where they show, like, I don't know, for example, like Carlos Alcaraz, the tennis player. They show him as a baby, like hitting the tennis ball, and then all of a sudden he's like, kind of goes through his career.
No, that's cool too.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But
cool.
Man, what they could do, it's great and it's terrible in the same time. When it's used for good, it's great, but when it's not, it's bad.
How do I see the video of the fan falling, by the way? Because I'm trying to. I see the article, but I can't find the video.
I mean, it's out there. I'll forward it to you later, but it's pretty disturbing. Once you know it's real, because the way the guy falls over, I was like, did somebody throw a mannequin? And I'm like, well, how the hell did somebody get a mannequin? I don't know.
Did he die?
Sadly, it was real.
Did he die?
He's in critical condition, this guy. For those who didn't see it, since we already talked about it.
I'm sorry. I just saw it. Now it's like...
Yeah, it's horrible. For those who didn't see it, at the Cubs-Pirates game in Pittsburgh last night...
Was he going for the ball?
I don't know. You can't really tell, because the view you see on the camera is basically from home plate or behind home plate. And this guy falls out of the stands. It looks like he did a somersault.
Well, honestly, like the way he fell, he kind of flips.
Yeah. I thought he broke his neck,
I don't know. I mean,
it's so and it's a pretty big fall. I mean, I don't know how many. It was from the second deck. I don't know how many.
Dude, it's like 25 feet.
Yeah, right. So this guy's even if he.
I guess the only thing you could think is that that area where he fell, what do they call it? The warning track is maybe it's a little softer because it's like I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
it's not concrete. Is my point.
No, it's not concrete, but it's it's hard dirt mostly. So
I
don't know. It's pretty awful. So you might not want to watch it, folks. At first I saw it and I was like, oh, that's fake. And then when I heard it was real, I was like, oh, I wish I didn't watch that because it just looks so bad. But way for us to depress everybody.
Well, you brought it up.
I know.
Man.
Hey, folks, if you want to jump in, we got the chat up. So throw in any comments, questions you have for us, and we'll answer them throughout the day. Jim says that Carpenter home run in the playoffs last year messed Clase up. Hasn't been the same since. I thought he was fine last night. I know he gave up a couple of hits in a run. They had a 3-run lead. The run scored on a wild pitch. He's actually pitched pretty well, like 5 of his last 6 appearances. So I don't know. I think he's going to be all right. And then CT says, damn, that was a hard fall to watch.
It was, yeah.
That was really ugly. But let's get into the Browns here. A couple of things. First of all, Elijah Moore, for those who may have missed it last night, Elijah Moore signs with the Bills on a 1-year deal. The Browns had hit him with an unrestricted free agent tender, which is a rule, I'll be honest, I didn't even know existed. It's barely ever been used.
Right.
Apparently the Chargers did it this year too with J.K. Dobbins, and the deadline was today. So if Elijah Moore hadn't signed with another team by today, then he would have only been able to sign with the Browns. He would have been guaranteed, I think, like $4 million or just under that. The Bills gave him $5 million. Are you surprised that the Bills gave him $5 million? Or do you think he'll be a serviceable third wide receiver with Buffalo?
I mean, dude, don't the Bills pretty much just make everyone serviceable?
Probably serviceable,
You know?
yeah,
and,
sure.
And like, he's fast. I mean, he's talented guy. Like, I think that he probably fits in well there. Like, you're gonna go play with Josh Allen. It's the best quarterback by far that he's played with. I mean, I like the move. It's not a ton of risks. $5 million's whatever, dude. It's $5 million.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of, I mean, at this point, you're not spending money on anybody else anyway. It's, you know, I mean, you may re-sign your own guys, but
yeah,
it's not like there's significant free agents still out there. By the way, free agents that remain out there of note for the Browns players, obviously we know Nick Chubb is unsigned as of May 1st. There have been rumors that the Bears would be a fit, and we talked about that a little bit yesterday. Jedrick Wills, the former Browns first-round pick, the first ever first-round pick by Andrew Berry, is a free agent. Are you surprised that he's still out there after the draft? And do you think the Browns could bring him back? Yeah, do you want them to bring him back?
I don't know. What about you?
I'm ready to move on from Jed Wills now. The Browns don't have a clear answer at tackle. They didn't draft anybody.
Well, that's the only thing that is a little bit alarming is that they don't have an answer there at left tackle.
Right. DeJuan Jones has the potential, all the potential in the world, but he's had a hard time staying on the field.
I don't know, man. You invested in Wills in terms of like he's a first-round pick. He got they picked up his option, so he's been here 5 years.
Yep.
I don't know. I think the guy stinks, but
yeah,
that's just me.
I mean, well, it's not just you, because if you're young, and he's young in football terms,
no one else really wants him, do they?
No, like if you haven't signed by May when you're 26, like, you know, I get it. There's the 30-something-year-old free agents. Those guys, some of them don't even want to sign early. They maybe don't even want to go to camp. They're towards the end of their career. But if you're in the middle of your career, if you're just out of your first contract and nobody assigned you by May 1st, you're pretty low down the priority list. Like all the free agents that people really wanted are already signed. Now it's mostly veterans who are coming off injuries like a Nick Chubb, or just veterans who may or may not play, how much they have left in the tank. There's not usually 26-year-old, 20, whatever he is, former first-round pick offensive lineman
right,
hanging out as free agents on May 1st, but that is the case right now. As for quarterbacks, obviously, a couple of stories. First of all, Joe Flacco was on with me yesterday. We had that podcast. It's done really well, over 17,000 views as of this morning. And Joe is great, as always, such a good dude. But I asked him specifically, you know, about the Browns drafting 2 quarterbacks and you know, what does it feel like, or does he believe there's a true competition? And he said, Dustin, that he was told by the Browns that there will be a true competition for that quarterback job. Do you believe that?
Well,
obviously, he's not lying, but do you believe the Browns are being honest with him that there is a true competition for who will be the starting quarterback?
Yeah, how can they not be a true competition? You don't have an answer at quarterback for this upcoming season. You've got 2 young players in your quarterback room that have just been drafted, so those guys are just trying to make the roster and compete and figure out, you know, their head from a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
And then you've got 2 veterans that are going to battle it out. So no, I think it's very truthful that I believe it's going to be a battle to find out who makes this roster, who's the starting quarterback, and who's the odd man out at this point.
Yeah. The Browns have done, and we've talked about this a lot over the years, the Browns have handed jobs to people way too often, especially guys that didn't deserve it. Competition, and Joe talked about this in the interview too. He's like, yeah, when you're a younger player, you want to get to the point like he was eventually in Baltimore where, okay, I don't have to compete for my job anymore because I've earned that starting role, and they're not bringing in somebody to compete with me, which he was for a good portion of his career. But he said, besides that, like when you're at the end of your career or you're a rookie, he said it's better for everybody if there's a competition because it's going to just make everybody better. To hand somebody a job is stupid. There's no, as you said, there's none of these 4 quarterbacks, including Joe, who's obviously had a ton of success in this league. At this point in his career, and certainly for the other 3 guys, nobody should be entitled to this starting job. They should have to win it. And I think it's better for the whole. If you're a player on the Browns right now, Dustin, and you see a true competition between these four guys, don't you feel better about the direction of the franchise and about your chances to win?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, who they going to really hand the job to?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
There's
think
nobody.
I think some people think it might be Kenny Pickett, which seems insane to me.
That seems absolutely asinine to me.
And
Sorry.
here's the interesting thing. Like, so Shador Sanders now has the #1 selling jersey, which is
Of rookies.
Of rookies, sorry, yes. Which is
honestly,
crazy, right?
Honestly, like, it's not crazy because I feel like that to me just says that, hey, the Browns are a very popular team. Shador Sanders is a very popular player, and this was the most talked about story in the world, it feels like, over the weekend.
True. That's true. But the thing is, and here's why, this is part of the reason I think Joe Flacco, if they're only going to keep one of the, if we assume the Browns are going to keep both rookie quarterbacks, do you assume that they will do that and that either Pickett or Flacco will be gone, or no?
I think that either one of those, like, they're going to be here, whether they're on the practice squad or whether they are on the active roster. And in the practice squad, they can pay these guys more. So, like,
but they have to clear waivers to get to the practice.
Sure, but is somebody really going to pick up Shador Sanders if he doesn't make the roster here and put them on their active roster? No one even drafted him.
Yeah, well, things could change between now and then, but I hear what you're saying.
What if he plays great in training camp? He's not going to be on the waiver wire, Adam.
No, that's true. Fair enough.
I don't think anyone's going to claim him,
right?
Because that means they have to put him on their active roster,
right? That's true. So okay, let's say it comes down to they're keeping both rookies, and they got to decide: do they keep Joe or do they keep Kenny Pickett? If that happens, I would even if it's close, I would keep Joe. And here's beyond Joe's experience, the fact that the veteran players on this team will have the most faith in Joe Flacco, without a doubt, more than Kenny Pickett or rookies to lead them to victories. But here's another angle of this, and I don't know if this matters or not to players or matters or not to the coaches, but you tell me what you think as a former player. If Joe, so there's going to be a lot of fans, there's a percentage of the fan base that if the Browns don't get great quarterback play, or even if they get decent quarterback play, fans are going to want to see Shador Sanders play at some point this year. And there's going to be a clamoring for that, as there often is for the backup quarterback. If Joe Flacco is the starter, as long as he's not a disaster, that will hold off, because there's also a percentage of our fan base, a good percentage of our fan base, that loves Joe Flacco. They love what he did 2 years ago. They love that the offense looked like a legit NFL offense for the first time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
If Kenny Pickett is the starter, there's no Kenny Pickett camp in Cleveland.
No,
there's nobody.
In fact, most people probably don't like Kenny Pickett.
That's right, because he was a Steeler.
Correct.
And
he played at Pitt. He's just from a Pittsburgh guy. Like, that's what people, I think about Kenny Pickett.
And he's not done anything in the NFL, unlike Joe Flacco.
Right.
So I think again, maybe this doesn't matter. Maybe if you're a player, you don't care. I think if Kenny Pickett is the starting quarterback, the drumbeat for Shador to play before he's ready, which would be bad, is going to be much louder than if Joe Flacco is the quarterback. What do you think?
I think, yes. I 100% agree. And, Flacco, we talked with Leroy Horde yesterday on our show, UCSS, and he makes a good point. Like, Flacco's probably going to give you like 6 weeks of gold jacket stuff this year.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Right. He hasn't played a full season in like 8-9 years. He's not playing 17 games.
No, I don't think he's going to stay healthy enough to play 17 games. I think that he will. Well, and I mean, I don't even know if he'll perform well enough to be the starting quarterback for 17 games. But I do think that he's good enough and can surprise enough people with Kevin Stefanski scheming up defenses and putting the ball down the field, taking shots. He's good at that. Right. The Browns are going to win some games. They're going to beat some bad teams.
Yeah.
And teams you think they're supposed to beat. And I think Flacco will have him in position. And honestly, it'll be fun. Where fans last year had no fun.
None whatsoever. I mean, there's already a cloud that's been lifted because Deshaun Watson won't be involved with the team at all. So that's a positive, no matter who's starting. But the fan, again, I get it. I get, Jason talks about this all the time, and I've often talked about this. Like, we understand the Browns don't have a team to win a Super Bowl this year. So maybe you should just play the young guys, or maybe you should play Kenny Pickett, because find out if he really has anything. And I get that from a brain standpoint, but fans want to have some fun. If your team's not going to win, even if it ends up meaning you have a lower draft pick next year, fans want to see the team be competitive and have fun. And Joe Flacco, week 1, probably gives them the best chance to do that. He's a professional. He's a champion. We also talked about the year he won the Super Bowl because he played so great that year, especially in the postseason. I asked him in the playoffs, like, did you feel like you were different? Like, was there another? Was it like, oh my God, I'm playing like crazy right now, and like, how was that feeling? And he said, a couple passes here and there, and maybe my stats don't look as good, but he did say going to the Super Bowl, he had this incredible sense of calm in the Super Bowl because of how well he and the team had played leading up to it. That kind of helped him win that Super Bowl.
What year was that? 2012?
I believe so. Yeah. So many years start to remember the exact
year. That's
year,
13 years ago.
Long time. Long
That was the
time.
Super Bowl where the lights went out, right?
Oh, yeah. In New Orleans, yes.
Yeah, against the Niners. The Harbaugh Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's get some comments from the fans here. What do we got? Let's see. Jimmy says, I read the title of the article, but I was nervous to watch the video. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Don't watch it. Yeah.
Especially considering the guy, we don't know what's going to happen with him.
Exactly.
It's really not a good video.
No. Brett says, what are your guys' thoughts on bringing back Amari Cooper? What do you think about that?
I love Amari Cooper.
I mean, he looked like he was done last year. He is a free agent. You just signed. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think if they were going to do that, they would have done it before signing Deontay Johnson, probably.
I mean, would they give Deontay Johnson guaranteed
I don't know.
money-wise?
I have not seen any money on that. I can't imagine it's anything too significant. I would bet
nobody else seemed to want the guy.
No. I bet you there's no guarantee or almost
probably
no
just like a hey, you make the roster, you get the minimum.
Yeah, maybe
or
some incentives or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but like nobody's paying him a lot of money after what the hell happened last year. Let's see, Jeffrey, are you interested in Keenan Allen if the price is right? I'd be.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the Browns are probably not going to sign another veteran at this point, but I mean, Keenan Allen's been a long time. He's obviously dealt with a lot of injuries and he's pretty old at this point, but if he's on the field, that's about as reliable a guy as you can get.
Indeed.
So I would certainly be fine with that. Cinematic Storm. Hey, yesterday's topic on UCSS on Deion Sanders. I used to be a manager at a hotel in Dallas. Deion came in, was a jerk to everybody. We actually thought about calling the police on him for being a jerk. You can't call the police for somebody for being a jerk. I don't know. Who knows?
Was he breaking the law? I mean, was he
breaking the law? Breaking the law. Let's see. Diesel. I'd rather see Bull kick slide out and pass pro than ever see Jed Wills in a Browns jersey again. No, I don't. Listen, I can't kick slide anything. What do you? I'll fall on my ass. And then if I fall on my ass, I'm gonna be like the woman in the commercial. I've fallen and I can't get up. I mean, I'm gonna be like a turtle out there. I wish I would have played football. Like thinking, not that I was good. I very likely would not have been good enough to play at the college level. Maybe Division III. Who the hell knows? But I wish I would have played offensive line. I'm probably too short, but I could have played high school offensive line.
Oh yeah.
But I couldn't have played at college at my height. I guess
Division III you could have played. Maybe.
I guess Division III I could have played guard
potentially.
But I don't know. Who knows if I would have been good enough? I never played. I mean, I played. We played tackle football at the park against other kids, and I was like serviceable. I doubt I was good enough to play in college, even Division III. But I don't know. I do regret it though. I wish I would have played in high school. But I think if I would have grown up in Ohio, I would have played football. But in New York, it wasn't. You
probably would have played everything. Growing up, like again, I don't know what your childhood was like. I feel like I know you from what you've told me.
Yeah.
But I mean, you lived in New York City, dude. Growing up, it's like
it was.
There's not a lot. There's how many like there's not fields on every corner.
No, it just football wasn't the way it is here, And
Right.
in other places, different. New York was about baseball and basketball. That were the sports everybody played. And so I played football, but I didn't play it in high school, and it wasn't a calling like it is. I feel like for kids here,
It's a rite of passage here, man.
it is. I mean, it's totally, it doesn't even matter what school you go to. Like almost every school around here, Friday night, packed house. Like we didn't have that. Our high school football games, because I'd go once in a while because I had a couple buddies that were on the team. There'd be nobody at the games. We had
Sad.
Yeah, I mean that's just what it was like. I get
Well, and it's sad. Like I've been in New York City for like a college football Saturday, for example.
Yeah.
And you walk into a bar, just a
Yeah.
random bar, like in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
they might not even have the games on.
No, nobody. I mean, yeah, no. When I was a kid, nobody watched college football. I didn't have any friends that were college football fans, and that's just that's where you grow up. I mean, it's just different sports are important, and because there's no New York City. I mean, the best football program in the entire state of New York is Syracuse, and that's 5 hours from New York City.
Yeah, and they're a middle of the road ACC team.
Right. I mean, when I was a kid, they were in the Big East, which had Yeah, I guess it was Big East football back in those days. Yeah.
It was Big East, yeah.
Yeah, and they were better then.
Pasqualoni.
Yeah, I mean, they were better. They were competitive, but they weren't like a national championship contender. All right. What do we got now? Dog Chop says, I hated watching Dustin play at OSU.
Why?
I don't know. Let's see. He said, I went to a coach clinic, saw that man leap out of bounds, pick a pass, and toss it for an INT. So smooth, and fell in love with his athleticism at the sport. So he hated you at first, and then he came around. Do you remember doing that at a coach's clinic?
It sounds reasonable. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've been blessed with athleticism. I do things that people say all the time are like they can't believe. So
yeah,
I guess. Yeah, I'm not even like tooting my own horn or anything. It's just like some stuff that I do that comes really naturally.
Yeah,
people are surprised by.
Yeah, well, and a lot of that's because you're white. Let's face it.
That's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
We talked about yesterday.
People sometimes.
30 years, there's been 5 white corners drafted.
Right. Yeah. RDY70, love Flacco, but he's not the future. Good or bad, we need to see what these younger guys can do. I think we agree. I certainly agree with that, but I can't see that Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel are ready to play week 1. I want to see them. I don't think it's terrible if we see them both play it this year, but I want to see them play when they're ready to play. Too often, guys, and we've seen this with the Browns many times, guys are playing before they're ready to do so. We want this instant gratification so much in our society now, but it takes time. I mean, these guys, say what you want about where Shedeur should have been drafted. He's a 5th-round pick. Gabriel was a late 3rd-round pick. These guys are unlikely to be ready week 1. What do you think, Dustin?
I think it's very unlikely they're going to be ready week 1.
Yeah.
Any of these guys, look, even if they were drafted at number 2 overall, which we all know wasn't going to happen. Basically it was Cam Ward and everybody else in terms of this draft. Any of these other quarterbacks that were drafted in the 1st round, a Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, those guys who were drafted high, like I'd be surprised if they're ready to go week 1.
Right. Yeah. No. And I
mean, dude, I did a Pittsburgh radio hit with Filipponi on Monday, and they were, before I came on the air with them, they played a clip from like a caller.
Yeah.
We're saying that Will Howard's going to like take him to the Super Bowl and be the next Big Ben and all this stuff. And then they asked me, they said, what do you think about that? Is Will Howard good enough to win a Super Bowl? I said, guys, Will Howard's got to make the roster first before we talk about a Super Bowl. Like, what are we talking about here?
He was a 6th round, right? 7th round?
6th round pick.
Yeah. The odds of him being good enough to win a Super Bowl are not good when you draft in the 6th round. Anything's possible.
Right.
Carter Groff Tolbert says, did you see Tito didn't pay his water bill and got his water turned off? Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
So Terry Francona, now the manager of the Cincinnati Reds, went home to his house. I don't know if it's in Cincinnati or his home in Arizona. And his water was off because he hadn't paid his bill. Because all this guy does is pay attention to baseball. And so he thought that his bills were taken care of on automatic. Like he thought it had been set up for automatic renewal. And he didn't pay his bill. So he got his water turned off. RDY, if Flacco starts and is lighting it up and we go 6-1, yeah, it's Joe's bust to drive for now. It's unlikely that Browns are going to be 6-1.
Honestly, Adam,
well.
if they start 500,
yeah,
he's not losing his job.
No. The players want to win. The coaches want to win. If you're winning, you don't mess with that. If they're winning in spite of him, let's say he's playing like crap and they're so good defensively and running the ball well, okay, maybe. But if Joe's playing great, they're not going to bench him. Nor should they.
No, they should. No, of course not. Come
on. George says, hi from the UK. Which rookie quarterback do you think gets the first start this season? Probably Cam Ward. I mean,
Cam Ward's probably going to start from day one.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I got to believe so. I don't think Jackson Dart is playing. I mean, they got Russell Wilson and Jameis. Maybe they end up getting rid of Jameis. I don't know, but I don't think he's starting week 1. No. The Saints, I mean, could Tyler Shuck, if Derek Carr is not healthy, I guess it's possible Tyler Shuck could start week 1.
Yeah, I mean,
it's again, not ideal.
It would have to be. He'd have to be really ready to go.
Yeah,
or there'd have to be like, there's nobody else. I'd be surprised.
Right. Let's see. Dog Chomp said, "Freak play, Dustin." That's the guy who said he saw you make that play. Jim said, "Bull, are you in the running to be the new pope?" Well, I'm not Catholic, so that's going to be tough. I don't think they're going to vote for me. Nor am I interested in the job or worthy of the job. Apparently, the pope who passed away was a good pope, from what I've been told.
I know nothing about popes.
You're not Catholic, right?
No, I mean I'm a Christian, but I don't follow the Catholic Church.
It is cool with the smoke when they pick the new guy.
There's a lot of cool traditions about the Catholic Church, but
yeah.
I'm not a participant.
Yes, neither am I. But I would like to go to the Vatican someday. I think
I would too.
Cool. Yeah.
I would too. 100%.
Jimmy W. I am in upstate New York, and I would agree that it's baseball and basketball. Love the Bills here. There you go. Second Amendment says, doesn't OSU have a white cornerback now? Do they? Does Ohio State have a white cornerback?
That I don't know.
Huh.
Can he comment again and tell us?
Yeah, tell us who he is. I don't know. Maybe he's a new guy. Jeffrey says, did you see that Shedeur Sanders was at John Marshall High School in Cleveland talking to the kids? I love to see that. Yeah, that was good. Good for him. Get right.
A lot of people have said that Shedor's been like out in the community and stuff.
That's a great job out of him. Ada, my guys, Bull and Fox, love emoji, heart emoji. Diesel, I don't want eat. Forget it. There you go. Bull for Pope, says Z. All right, fair enough. I'm not running. Not fair enough because I'm not running for Pope. Nobody needs me as the Pope. Although I'd look damn good in those robes, I'll tell you.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Cavs for a few minutes before we wrap things up. Cavs will start their series against the Pacers on Sunday. We don't know the time yet. We do know that there's only 2 possible games now on Sunday because the Lakers lost last night. How about LeBron? I mean, and LeBron, after the game, and obviously it's heat of the moment, talking about he's not sure about his future. Do you think there's a chance LeBron retires? Because I don't. I don't think there's any way he's retiring without him announcing it so he can get the farewell tour.
I would be surprised if LeBron, like him saying that.
Yeah.
There's only one reason why he says that. He wants people talking about him. He's out of the playoffs.
Yep.
He's irrelevant now for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And of course he wants people speculating. Like these shows today, tomorrow, hell, for the next couple of months, the offseason. I mean, they're going to be talking about LeBron James retiring.
That's right.
He ain't retiring. Dude, no. The guy averaged almost 30 points a game.
I wouldn't retire if I were him. And I know it didn't end well for them this year. You see, it's 4-1, but they won the series. There we go. They won the series. But a full year with him and Luka, if they can tweak the roster, I wouldn't rule him out. And it is remarkable I played. But getting back to the Cavs for a second, guys, if you could put the odds back up there. We know that the Pacers, Dustin, are a much better opponent than Miami, significantly better. Yet the Cavs, as you see on the screen there, are a pretty significant favorite to win their semifinals. -500 here at Bet Rivers.
Big number.
That's a pretty significant favorite considering Indiana's a 50-win team. That tells you what we here at Bet Rivers and just in general people think about the Cavs.
Well, and the Cavs
There's
have been
the schedule.
The Cavs have been so good at home, and they have been dominating everybody.
Yep.
Thus far throughout this postseason. So they look unstoppable, frankly, right now.
Yeah, and they're the freshest team. Obviously, they've played 4 games. They rested at the end of the regular season. Guys barely played in the second half of Game 4.
Mm-hmm.
Darius hasn't played 2 games. It'll be interesting to see if Darius plays Sunday. Hopefully, he's good to go. We know we talked about this yesterday. You mentioned that these toe injuries can linger for a while. He's going to have to play through it and play with some pain. But I don't know. I'd really consider sitting him until they feel like I would consider sitting him for the first game if they feel like a little more rest would help. And then if they won that game, I'd sit him the next game. But we'll see what they end up doing. Also, last night the Rockets avoided man, that series is feisty, huh? Those guys are fighting every game.
I like it. I don't know if they're really going to
basketball.
fight each other or they're really mad at each other, but they are definitely very feisty, and at least it makes for good television.
Yeah, Steph Curry had a terrible game. He was 3 of 9.
The Rockets couldn't miss, man. They were hot, especially they were up 30 at halftime.
Yep. Well, Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry combined 6 for 22 from the field, 3 for 12 from 3. Yeah, you're not winning the game with those guys. Those two.
Has anybody
like
ever fallen off more like harder than Jimmy Butler? He has no impact.
It is weird. It is weird. You think the Rockets come back and win the next game?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're the higher seed.
Yeah, that's true. NBA tonight. You got 2 games tonight. Knicks Pistons game 6. Nuggets Clippers game 6. Both home teams are down 3-2. Do the Pistons or Clippers avoid elimination at home tonight? What do you got?
Pistons. I think the Pistons do. I think I said that on UCSS yesterday. I think the Pistons will.
They're 1.5-point favorite.
Yeah. And then what's the other one?
Clippers. Nuggets at Clippers. Clippers are a 7-point favorite.
I don't like the Nuggets.
So you think both home teams win and send it to game 7s?
I do.
All right. Well, we shall see. All right, Dustin, good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. We love you all. We appreciate it. Appreciate you joining us live. Thanks to Max and Z for joining us. We'll be back on next Thursday. I'll be back in the bullpen Sunday following the Cavs game. Obviously, we don't know what time they're playing yet. Whatever time they play, I will be on right after the game. We'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here? It's Bull and Fox in the bullpen with Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.